Welcome in. It's Main Street Today time. I'm Devin O'Day, and I'm so happy for the folks who join me each day to find out the stories of Middle Tennessee. Now, a lot of people send public service announcements to radio stations or press releases out to get them broadcast everywhere, and you go, nobody ever talks about what happens in Middle Tennessee. Well, let me tell you about Main Street. Main Street is a group of local newspapers, and we tell your stories, whether it's a public service announcement, whether it's just a story that needs to be told, and maybe it's a nonprofit event that you've got coming up. We want to hear about all of those, and we want to talk about them on this show, Main Street Today, 30 minutes every day, Monday through Friday. And if you follow us here, make sure that you click like and click subscribe. And thank you. We just received on Main Street Today on Facebook, we just received our first 1,000 followers. And so thank you so much for that. Please share it and invite your friends to be a part of this. And please send us your news and send us your stories. We have all sorts of things. Last night at John A's, it was a fantastic, fun event. We packed it out and watched the first UT game of the season, but I learned a lot of things coming up in Middle Tennessee, including the Tennessee Beer and Wine Festival. It's the 11th annual Tennessee Beer, Wine, and Shine Festival. It's going to take place at Two Rivers Mansion, 3130 McGavock Pike, from noon until 5 p.m. on October 16th. It's a Saturday, and it's the premier October festival for avid beer, wine, and shine aficionados. You can go to tnbeerandwinefestival.com. You can get tickets through Eventbrite. There's free parking. There's early bird tickets. There's a regular ticket. There's a VIP ticket with all sorts of goodies. And there is a designated driver ticket, a non-drinking admission. So if you just want to come with some friends and you're not a drinker, but you'd like to experience the live music and the fun that they're going to have, well, you can do that as well. Because like me, I mean, sometimes you want to go to an event and not participate, in the drinking side of it, but you just would love to find out and see a lot of people and go with friends who might be. Designated driver ticket is yours too. So that is the Tennessee Beer, Wine, and Shine Festival. And you can save the date for October 16th and get your tickets ahead of time at Eventbrite. And I did learn a lot last night at John A's. First of all, I was talking to Johnny Hobbs, and we talked about his dad, John A. Hobbs. Now, if you ever went to John A's, you got to see John. You got to see him sitting at his table in the back of the restaurant, and it was my place. It was my Cheers. I just loved it. And my favorite thing is the catfish. I would go and visit. But John really created a legacy in the Music Valley Drive area. And the way he did business and the way he started things and the story of the artist and the stars and the political aficionados and the sports figures that were just friends of his that were part of what he did there, all in this book, The Story of John A. Hobbs, The Life and Times of Music Valley's Visionary. And if you're like me and you love biographies and how people do or did what they did, well, you might want to win this. And all you have to do to win this book is wherever you're watching this, put, I want the John A. Hobbs book. I want the John A. Hobbs book. And next Tuesday, we're going to announce a winner right here, and we're going to let you know, and you can win a copy of the book. We've got a few to give away, so go ahead and just put it in the comments. I want the John A. Hobbs book, and then we'll make sure that you get it. I love biographies, and I learned so much from them. But tell you what else I learned last night. We had some guests at John A's doing a bourbon tasting. And if you can see this, Bardstown Bourbon Company. It's in Bardstown, Kentucky. Now, Bardstown, if you've never been there, it's a wonderful little drive right up. I think we went 65 north to get there, or 64 or 24. Anyway, just set your GPS wherever you are. Go to Bardstown because it's part of the Whiskey Trail, and you can find out and see all the history that is there. But Bardstown Bourbon Company has created this beautiful establishment, and they have tours, but they've got a restaurant, and it's just really fantastic. I'll give you a little look as to what it's like if you go visit Bardstown Distillery. They've got new versions of their bourbon coming out all the time. And last night we tasted the Fusion, and it was really good. And when you do a tasting, it's only like a little tablespoon. It's a little tiny just enough to just taste it. And so if you've never been to a bourbon tasting, I encourage you that if that's something that you like to do, if you want to partake, taste it, because it was really smooth. It wasn't, I mean, there's a little afterburn. I'm not gonna lie, a little afterburn, but it's the Irish in me. It's what you do for your hot toddy. But Bardstown Bourbon Company, they're located in Bardstown, Kentucky. But I started asking the guy that was doing the tasting, I said, can you tell me a little bit more about what this is all about and how you come up with the different flavors and how you do it? And he says, oh, I absolutely can.
Hi everyone, this is Sam Montgomery here with Bardstown Bourbon Company, here to walk you through your tasting kit. The first sample in your tasting kit is a clear spirit we call Distillate. You may have heard this referred to as New Make, White Dog, or Moonshine. It is completely clear in color because it has not seen any time in a barrel, which is the only legal way bourbon can get its rich golden brown hue. This distillate has a mash bill of 60% corn, 36% rye, and 4% malted barley, and is proofed to 100. The high percentage of rye in this recipe will present itself with notable aromas and flavors of earth, grain, spice, and a subtle sweetness. Furthermore, the mouthfeel will give you a sizzling sensation that you may experience over the palate, the roof of the mouth, and the sides of the tongue. These are very typical attributes of the rye flavor grain. We here at Bardstown Bourbon Company do not have any plans to bottle anything unaged, but feel tasting the distillate is as important as any other part of the whiskey making process. The next sample in your kit is labeled Match Red. This is exactly what you just tasted as distillate, but after resting in a new charred oak barrel for about 3 years. Right away you can see the influence in the color. On the nose, you are met with oak and caramel and just slight fruitiness from the grain. On the palate, you may notice that the bold mouthfeel from the distillate is still present, but with much softer and rounded flavors. While Bardstown Bourbon Company is very happy with how this specific recipe is aging, we are going to hold on to the majority of these barrels and wait until they are a bit older, ideally 6 years, before we bottle this on its own as one of our first single recipe products. In the meantime, let me introduce you to our Fusion Series, the third sample in your tasting kit. Fusion Series number 4 is a blend of 4 unique Kentucky straight bourbons. Right on the label of every Fusion bottle is a chart that tells you exactly what is in it by providing mash bills, age statements, origin, and how much of that bourbon is in the blend. In this expression, 60% of the blend is 3 and 4-year-old product produced and aged here at Bardstown Bourbon Company, split between 3 unique mash bills that all contain rye as the secondary grain. The other 40% of the blend is a 13-year Kentucky straight bourbon we sourced and blended in to round out the more youthful notes of our bourbon. This balance of young and old creates an incredibly complex and rich product. When you go in for a nose, you may be met with a bouquet of apricot, black cherry, and cinnamon, complemented by a hint of smoke and oak. When you go in for a taste, you'll be met with rich flavors of maple and toffee that lead to a lasting hazelnut finish. The final sample in your tasting kit is Bardstown Bourbon Company's Discovery Series number 4. This is a blend of 10, 13, and 15-year-old Kentucky straight bourbon whiskeys, bottled at 115 proof. Just like Fusion, we put the breakdown of the blend on a chart on the side of the label. Our team of blenders, consisting of cocktail experts, culinary professionals, and our distilling team, expertly blended 3 incredible and well-aged bourbons together to create something even more delicious than any of its parts. On the nose, you are met with waves of caramel, baking spices, and oak, rounded out by hints of dried fig or dates. On the palate, you'll encounter lively bursts of fruit and spice that evolve into an enduring, balanced finish.
We're going to be focusing throughout, just kind of a leading up to the beer, wine, and shine festival, some of those recipes in how to create bourbon or whiskey come all the way from Ireland, and they've been passed down through families and families and families, and they've been brought up to date and they've been changed a little bit. But can you imagine having a company that your first product to come out would be 3 years from the time you opened your doors? That's on the short side of it. I thought it was really crazy that if you look at the fusion, the blends, the oldest blend was 13 years it had been sitting in those barrels. And did you see in the film how they char those barrels? I mean, literally catching them on fire. It's really an interesting process, and we'll find out a little bit more as we go through the month. Well, I wanted to talk a little bit about Gospel Fest. Gospel Fest is at Cave City, Kentucky, moved from Waverly at the Loretta Lynn Ranch, but these folks are still raising money for all the Waverly, Tennessee Relief Fund. $49. I bought my ticket. You can buy yours by going to Sneed Family Productions on Facebook, and it's going on right now. This $49.99 ticket gets you all week. Now, you can still show up in Cave City, Kentucky this weekend. If you want to go up, you can still buy a ticket at the door for one night, or you can go to their free events. You can go to the vendor booths. They got arts and crafts fairs. They've got all sorts of stuff to go. And the food with Tony Gore and Pam Sneed. Oh, my goodness. Slap your mama good. It is so, so fun. Gospel Fest is. They've got so many things going on. I want to encourage you to get your ticket like I did. They have them just by going in, and it'll let you know when the event comes up. It'll go ding and let you know that it is live, and you can go and click on. And that's the whole weekend. Anything in the weekend that they're broadcasting live, $49.99, and all that money goes to flood relief. So how about that? If you'd like to see some of the people that are going to be there, it's all sorts of the gamut of gospel music. But one of my favorite groups are the Freemans, and they've been there a long time. I had a song cut by the Freemans. I just absolutely love them as a family. I hope you'll find out more about them, and I hope you go see them at Gospel Fest.
King Jesus, I know you hear me when I pray. King Jesus, I know you hear me when I pray. Well, I'm down here in trouble, Lord. Send an angel by my way. Back in the hills of Wise, Virginia, cold country, there's a man named Reverend Joe Freeman. Preacher man, sang the gospel his entire life. Loved to sing, loved to preach it, loved the folks. Here's a song he wrote called King Jesus. King Jesus, won't you hear me when I pray? King Jesus, won't you hear me when I pray? Well, I'm down here in trouble, Lord. Send an angel by my way.
If you're sick and afflicted and you don't know what to do, just call on King Jesus. He's going to see you through.
King Jesus, won't you hear me when I pray?
Will you hear me when I pray?
Well, I'm down here in trouble, Lord. Won't you send an angel by my way? King Jesus, won't you hear me when I pray? King Jesus, won't you hear me when I pray? Well, I'm down here in trouble, Lord. Send an angel by my way.
Well, they put old Paul in a prison long about the midnight hour. He began to call on Jesus and he heard him with his prayer.
King
out in gospel too, you know, in the gospel church. That's where he got his feeling in the song, you know, and so forth. And that, King Jesus, I know you hear me when I pray. King Jesus.
Isn't that fantastic? I don't know if you realize that country music has deep roots, but gospel music has roots deeper still, and it's families. And some of these families have been at it since they came over from the old country and going through Appalachia, and it's just a sound. And there's that rockabilly sound of families. And when you talk about the Freemans, you've got, like, if Daryl steps forward, you're going to kind of have that rockabilly sound, or if Chris steps forward, you recognize the sound coming from the Hensons, and she brings that kind of sound. And Misty steps forward, a little bit more contemporary sound. So they're going to be at Gospel Fest. And if you don't know anything about this music and you'd like to find out, it is the place, because they've got folks that are going to be there, like old school, like the Primitive Quartet. And then you've got new school, like Karen Peck and New River. Then if you want to experience just good old family sound, the Perrys with their harmonies, just incredible. They've got camp meeting with Dr. Tim Hill. And that's, of course, that's free admission. If you're around Cave City, Chuck Wagon Gang, they have been doing it for so long. And even though some of the members of the group have changed throughout the years, of course they've changed. It's like a very, very simple, almost a cappella kind of a sound. And their harmonies are just pristine. Absolutely pristine. Ernie Haas and Signature Sound, just incredible. It's a big sound, and they've got great harmonies as well. So if you want to find out all about Southern gospel music, you cannot listen and you cannot be part of a gospel collection of people without smiling and tapping your foot and being part of it and being moved. It is just a wonderful time, and I know that you're going to have a good time if you go. We also want to talk about what's coming up on Monday. It's Labor Day weekend, and so if you'd like a really, really good virtual event, I want to tell you about Tia McGrath and Tommy Parham. They're having their at 3 p.m. Eastern time, 2 p.m. our time here in Middle Tennessee. Jake's Place Songs and Tales is the podcast that they do, but they're doing a live concert. You can get tickets by going to Jake's Place or Tia McGrath's Facebook page, and it's just going to be so much fun. If you've never seen them live, great harmonies. They're kind of a folky sound and great writing. And I thought I would share one of the songs. One of the ways that she ends all of her podcast is "Have a Crazy Beautiful Day." And she was really impacted by a story of an Olympic skier from Canada. Tia is Canadian, and she's right there on the Ontario border. And she said she was so affected by a story, and she wanted to write the story of this champion skier into song. And the song is called Crazy Beautiful. Here's Tia McGrath.
You found a good dream, what's wrong with that? But what if someone told you you had to give it back? Would you give up? Would you give in? Or would you go down fighting to the bitter end? A ship safe in the harbor isn't brave, but watch her on a stormy ocean wave. Crazy beautiful, set your sail and let the strongest wind blow. Crazy beautiful, wild at heart, you're greater than you know. Never give up, never give up. Dare to be something wonderful. Just let yourself be crazy, beautiful. Maybe you'll win, maybe you'll lose, but in the end what matters, you did it just for you. A story is waiting to unfold. Make yours the greatest ever told. Crazy beautiful, set your sail and let the strongest wind blow. Crazy beautiful, wild at heart, you're braver than you know. Never give up, never give up. Dare to be something wonderful. Just let yourself be crazy, beautiful. Crazy beautiful, set your sail and let the strongest wind blow. Crazy beautiful, wild at heart, you're greater than you know. Never give up, never give up. Dare to be something wonderful. Just let yourself be. Let yourself be crazy. Or let yourself be crazy, beautiful.
I love that. touchofhaven.net is where that video was filmed and is an equine learning center. And I love that they use that for their video. Tia McGrath will be live on Monday at 2 p.m. Central Time. And so if you'd like to find out more, go to Tia McGrath on Facebook and get all the information on how you can see their show. And it's going to be fantastic. Well, we're going to close. Before we do, if you need a job and you're in the Lebanon area, there is a place that is hiring. And especially if you're of high school age, or if you're a young person wanting to get in on a beginning track, or if you're a parent of a child and you go, hey, I want to get them a starting job where they can kind of learn the ropes and have a job in a safe, family-oriented area, take a look at this.
Hi, I'm Bonnie Ryan. I'm the co-owner of Zaxby's along with Lee Oliver. And we have owned this Lebanon Zaxby's, had it open almost 17 years now. We've been really excited to be in the community and be a part of the Zaxby's family. And we're most excited about how the community has supported us over these 17 years. One of the things that we have always prided ourselves on here at Zaxby's is this is a place that mamas and daddies can be really comfortable to send their kids to for a first job, or if you're coming in for another job. It's a place that is a family environment. It's owned by folks that are family, and it's a place that you can have fun, feel really good about the place that you work, get paid well, have a good time. So we love it when we get some great folks here at Zaxby's. If you want to apply, you can go to applynow.com and Zaxby's will be on there, or you can come here to the store. We've got all kinds of ways that you can use your phone to apply as well.
If you have a company that is looking for employees, and I think that is the case for most companies right now, if you're looking for someone to hire and you need to get the word out, we'd love to help you here at Main Street Today. Just reach out to me, send me a message here, and we'll get right back to you and get you on one of our shows. We tell the stories of the mid-state, and we love telling the story of music that comes out of this area because it's all so good. My friend Bobby Tomberlin has a brand new single out, and we're going to close our show going into Labor Day weekend with it. We've had gospel music on the show today and rockabilly, and we've had folk music on the show today. We're going to close with some good old country music. Bobby Tomberlin has lived country music. He started down in Alabama, in Luverne, Alabama. He was 11 years old when he was a DJ at a local station, and he just lived his country music, and that became a song as his new single. And I just love all the pictures and all the stories. Truly living a life that is crazy beautiful. Bobby Tomberlin says, yes, it can be done. So enjoy this. Be safe, be kind, and remember, you are loved. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Down in Alabama, in a 2 red light town, my world revolved around the radio. And in my little bedroom, the Opry came alive. And in my mind, I was on the front row. I counted down the years till I could drive that old highway to the city where all my dreams could come true. There's been a lot of hard times, but they were all worth it as I look back at all the things I've got to do. Well, I sang with Loretta, wrote songs with Whispering Bill. I even got to play Hank's guitar. Rode the roads with little Jimmy, shook hands with Johnny Cash. Funny how a dream can take you far. I poured my heart and soul into it. Yes, I've lived country music. I sold groceries to Conway Twitty when I first came to Nashville, and Mel Tillis paid my rent. I got to tell Merle Haggard how much his songs meant to me. I swear his words were heaven sent. I was at the Ryman with Bo Cephas in a small room with Glenn Campbell. He played Galveston and I sang along. Had a smoke with Christopherson. Willie Nelson sang my song. I hung out with old George Jones at his home. I poured my heart and soul into it. Yes, I've lived country music. Ate biscuits and gravy with Porter Wagner. Wrote a song with Bobby Bear. Heard Phil Everly sing Dream in his living room. Was with Eddie Arnold in his last days. I played on the Opry stage, and I could feel the spirit of Hank Williams in that room. I've given my heart and soul to it. Yes, I've lived country music. Yes, I've lived country music. Yes, I've lived country music. And I've lived country music.